I now give the floor to His Excellency Wörkneh Gabbeyahu, Minister for Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia.
Madam President, allow me to start by expressing my warmest congratulations to you on your election as the President of the 73rd session of the General Assembly. I can assure you of my delegation's full support and cooperation in the effective discharging of your responsibility. Let me also convey my sincere appreciation to your predecessor for his able leadership of this August Assembly for the past year. This, of course, is a year in which the United Nations lost one of its icons, someone who rose through the ranks to lead the organization and someone who, as the Secretary General rightly said, truly represented what the United Nations is all about. We mourn the loss of the illustrious son of Africa, who left an enduring mark on the world stage, Mr. Kofi Annan. Madam President, we are meeting at the time when multilateralism is facing serious challenges, and yet there has never been a time when we need multilateralism more. This is why this gathering of nations under the umbrella of the United Nations is very important. It remains the only universal organization whose very ideals of freedom, equality, and justice are still as valid today as they were in its inception. As Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia stated in his address to the General Assembly in October 1963, I quote, "The Charter of the United Nations expresses the noblest aspiration of man, abjuration of force in the settlement of disputes between states, the assurance of human rights and fundamental freedoms for all without distinction as a race, sex, language, or religion, the safeguarding of international peace and security." This remains profoundly true. And let me take this opportunity today to assure you that Ethiopia, as a founding member of the United Nations, will continue to adhere to these ideals and to the principles of multilateralism as we face unprecedented challenges and threats to our community of nations. Ethiopia's contribution to the United Nations peacekeeping is second to none. We remain totally committed to this noble endeavor as we reform and adapt to the new and challenging realities of peacekeeping. We fully endorse the Secretary General's Action for Peacekeeping Initiative and the declaration of the shared commitments to the United Nations peacekeeping to tackle the challenges peacekeeping faces today. Madam President, 6 months ago, a peaceful transfer of power took place in Ethiopia. It has opened a new chapter in our country's political history, offering realistic and genuine possibility of change that will meet the hopes and expectations of our youthful population. Changes that are in line with the new political and democratic realities where we are implementing. Changes that have been welcomed and embraced by Ethiopians across the length and breadth of the country. Creating a just, peaceful, equitable, and sustainable society is the vision we are supporting as we build a new society on the foundations and achievements of the past. It is a vision, I believe, highly appreciated and relevant to our discussion here to this session of the General Assembly and of the term selected for this general debate. Ethiopia and the people of Ethiopia have frequently shown their resilience and strength often enough in the past in time of adversity. We are quite confident we will continue to do so. No difficulties are insurmountable. There are, of course, challenges that we continue to encounter in working to ensure the benefits of economic growth and development are widely shared among all sections of our people. We are working today to widen and deepen the reform necessary to promote democratic governance and the rule of law, to promote fairness and justice, better financial and economic management, to promote transparency and accountability across the entire administration of governance, to promote popular participation and an effective democracy. In the last 6 months, we have exerted every effort to make sure all this, together with our message of forgiveness and reconciliation, strengthens the unity and solidarity of our entire population. The new government, led by His Excellency Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, is taking a series of measures, opening up the democratic space in every direction, opening up the economy, removing previous constraints on development such as corruption, human rights violations, and failures of administration and governance. In other words, we have been and are counting to respond to the hopes and aspirations of our people. The reforms have been welcomed across the country and beyond. Madam President, we have not confined our efforts to Ethiopia only. Another highly important historic development is what is happening in our region. In the last 3 months, my Prime Minister has also launched equally significant reconciliation across the Horn of Africa. This is the start of the real process of normalization between and among the countries of the Horn. Ethiopia and Eritrea have opened a new chapter in their relationship, ending 2 decades of conflict. We are normalizing relations and charting a future in which our relationship will truly reflect the long-standing ties between our 2 peoples. Somalia and Eritrea have reconciled their differences and re-established diplomatic relations. Early this month, we held a trilateral summit of Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Somalia in Asmara. We foreign ministers then visited Djibouti, opening a new phase in relation between Djibouti and Eritrea. The African Union Commission chairperson has rightly called this a clear demonstration of the value and effectiveness of the search of African solutions to African problems. Recently, my Prime Minister and the President of Eritrea signed a further comprehensive cooperation agreement in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, and President of Eritrea and Djibouti shake hands in Jeddah, ending a decade of dispute. In light of this important and positive development, it is only appropriate and timely that the Security Council now seriously considers without delay lifting the sanctions imposed on Eritrea. A few days ago, the South Sudanese party signed the revitalized peace agreement for South Sudan at an extraordinary summit of IGAD, heads of state and governments in Addis Ababa. This offers the real prospect for peace in South Sudan after 5 years of civil war. Madam President, these are indeed major developments in the Horn of Africa. This is, as Secretary General Guterres put it, a powerful wind of hope blowing across the Horn. It is a wind that offers a start to unrevealing years of conflict and suspicion across the region, a region which has one of the most conflict-ridden in Africa. Indeed, Horn of Africa is becoming Hope of Africa. While all these major steps towards silencing the guns in our region is taking place, it is equally important to extend the process to promote a framework for regional economic integration to fight poverty. Equally, regional economic cooperation will make a real contribution to help rid of violence and war, as well as promote deeper regional and continental integration in line with Agenda 2063. In light of the challenges we face together as a region, the choice we have is very clear. That is to work together for the collective destiny of our people. The historic, cultural, social, and linguistic links that bind our people from a proper basis to strive for common prosperity. We believe regional integration, which benefits all countries of the Horn, is the only viable option we have for meaningful development. We are already seeing dividends through regional integration projects. We are now working to accelerate such efforts, building on what we have already achieved. Finally, Madam President, let me underline that Ethiopia is and will always remain firmly committed to exerting every possible effort towards creating peaceful, equitable, and sustainable societies in our sub-region and our continent, Africa. As a non-permanent member of the Security Council, we have been doing everything we can to support this important and noble cause, and we will continue to do so in the spirit and commitment of nurturing peace, security, and stability for the common good of our countries. Thank you very much.
I thank the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia for his statement.